The risk of losing control of the sale process complexity refers to the potential for business owners to feel overwhelmed or out of their depth during the process of selling their business. The sale of a company is inherently complicated, involving multiple parties, legalities, financial details, and strategic considerations. Losing control of this process can lead to unfavorable outcomes or decisions that may not align with the owner's goals. Here's why it's a significant concern for business owners. 1. Lack of expertise in negotiations. Selling a business involves negotiations around price, terms, and post-sale involvement. Without proper guidance or expertise, an owner might make concessions that they later regret. They may lose control over how the terms of the deal are structured, such as agreeing to terms that are less favorable, such as a lower sale price or extended post-sale involvement. Example: if an owner doesn't understand the nuances of a sales agreement, they might agree to an earn-out clause where they receive part of the payment over time, depending on future performance, that is more risky or difficult to meet than they initially thought. 2. Buyers' influence on the process. Buyers often bring their own legal, financial, and advisory teams into the sale process. The business owner might feel pressured to accept terms or demands made by the buyer's side, especially if they don't fully understand the legal and financial implications of what's being proposed. Example: a buyer might ask for aggressive warranties or post-sale conditions that could limit the owner's ability to walk away from the business fully. Without clear counsel, an owner might feel compelled to agree to these terms to avoid losing a potential sale. 3. Due diligence, overwhelm. The due diligence phase, where the buyer thoroughly reviews the business, financials, operations, legal structure, and more, can be an overwhelming process. If the business owner is unprepared or doesn't have the right team in place, they may lose control of how the information is presented, or even face delays, misunderstandings, or complications that could derail the sale. Example: if a business owner hasn't conducted a pre-sale audit, the buyer may find discrepancies or red flags that could make the deal more complicated or even cause the buyer to back out. The owner might also feel pressured to reveal more information than they initially intended in an attempt to speed up the process. 4. Pressure to sell quickly. Some business owners may feel pressure to sell quickly, especially if they're facing personal, financial, or market-related pressures. This rush can lead to mistakes, such as rushing through negotiations, underestimating the time needed for proper due diligence, or accepting a lower price simply to finalize the deal. Example: if the business owner is feeling financial pressure or is personally ready to exit the business quickly, they might be swayed by a fast offer from a buyer without taking the time to properly evaluate the deal, potentially leaving money on the table or agreeing to terms that limit their post-sale flexibility. 5. Loss of operational control during the transition. The complexity of the sale process also extends to the operational side of things. During the sale, a business owner might lose control over day-to-day operations, especially if a transition plan is poorly designed or if the buyer starts making changes before the deal is finalized. Example: if the buyer wants to make changes to key personnel or processes before the deal is closed, the owner might find themselves powerless to stop these changes, potentially destabilizing the business or affecting relationships with employees and customers. 6. Increased risk of legal and financial pitfalls. The sale involves a range of legal and financial complexities, including structuring the deal in a tax-efficient way, protecting intellectual property, ensuring that employee agreements and contracts are handled properly. Without careful oversight, an owner might unknowingly agree to unfavorable legal terms, such as unclear non-compete clauses, or face unexpected tax liabilities. Example: if the owner doesn't understand the full tax consequences of an asset sale versus a stock sale, they might inadvertently expose themselves to higher taxes, affecting their net proceeds from the sale. 7. Emotional attachment and decision-making bias. Selling a business is a deeply personal decision. Owners often feel emotionally attached to their companies, which can cloud their judgment during the sale process. This emotional involvement can make it hard for them to make objective decisions, leading them to either overvalue the business or accept unfavorable terms just to get it over with. Example: an owner may be emotionally tied to employees or the company's culture, and, as a result, might agree to unfavorable deal terms just to ensure that the company's values and team are preserved, sometimes at the expense of a better financial outcome. 8. Involvement of multiple advisors. A business sale typically requires input from a range of advisors, including lawyers, accountants, brokers, and financial planners. If the business owner isn't actively managing and coordinating these parties, they might feel as if they've lost control over the process and have little say in how the sale unfolds. Example: different advisors may have different priorities. Legal advisors might focus on protecting the business from future liabilities, while financial advisors might prioritize tax implications. Without clear communication and coordination, the business owner could be pulled in conflicting directions, leading to confusion and delays. How to prevent losing control. To avoid losing control of the sale process, business owners can take several steps. 1. Prepare early by conducting a pre-sale assessment or business audit to ensure that the business is in the best possible shape and to uncover any potential issues ahead of time. 2. Work with experienced advisors who specialize in business sales, including brokers, legal experts, and financial consultants. 3. Stay involved in negotiations and ensure that there's clear communication between all parties. The owner should not feel pressured to accept terms that don't align with their goals. 4. Understand the details of the sale agreement, especially the financial, legal, and operational terms, and make sure they are clearly understood before agreeing to anything. 5. Create a clear transition plan that defines the terms of the sale, what will happen during the transition, and how the business will be run post-sale, to ensure the owner is not sidelined in the process. In closing, losing control of the sale process complexity can mean surrendering decision-making power, making rash decisions under pressure, or failing to structure the deal in a way that benefits the owner. It's critical to manage the sale process strategically and with the help of trusted advisors to maintain control over the outcome and minimize risks. To accomplish Step 1, please go to ostcbt.com and purchase your pre-sale assessment today. To accomplish Step 2, or if you have any questions, please reach out to us by phone or via the contact page on our website. On behalf of Ostec Business Transitions, we would like to thank you for watching. We look forward to serving you